Very good afternoon, good morning, welcome everybody. Hope you're doing well. Good morning, Brett. Good to see you. Good morning, Konstantinos, Najam, Brian. Yeah, hey guys. Right, here we go. Another day. Looking forward to the session. Looks like we're going to have a very heavy news-driven session again, just like we did yesterday. We're going to be going through things in just a second. It's just I'm getting into these, trying to pass some more funded accounts. So I'm sort of going heavy at the moment. We'll do the rundown in a minute. Just going to pull up this on another screen as I go through what's going on. I know, Brian. I know. Was it the initial jobless data? I'll have a quick look at it. It was a nothing burger. All right, folks, without further ado, let's get stuck into the session. Right. Yeah, no, I saw the data come through. I thought, oh, that's just absolutely nothing. Let's get stuck into it. The general sentiment as we start the session today, it's really quite mixed. We've had Donald Trump out on the wires saying that it depends on China with regard to how quickly tariffs come down. He's giving a time frame of 2 to 3 weeks, right? But on the other hand, we've had China come out and said, well, the China's foreign ministry said, as far as I know, that China has not been consulted or negotiated with tariffs at all. So there really is quite a lot of uncertainty going around on this. Let's just try and get out of this when I can. I might come back into it. So that uncertainty is just going around markets. So it's going to be a very sensitive, news-driven headline. In terms of earnings, we've had a flurry of earnings out already. Nothing's really moved markets. The only sort of thing to note is that companies keep repeating how uncertain everything is. And that uncertainty is leading to that risk-off kind of environment, okay? It's very much risk-off. It's very tentative. Markets are very nervous about exactly what tariffs mean. And Donald Trump is really starting to feel that now. It's really starting to weigh on his mind. And that kind of earnings we've had have been fine, but all the while it's uncertainty. So nervous, uncertain market, that's kind of the feel that we've got at the moment. The data that we've had is just really very unimportant. The jobless data, absolutely fine, right? There's no major problem there with jobless data. The continuous jobless claims, absolutely fine. Again, nothing to particularly worry markets there. It's a generally positive kind of outlook of the US labor market. But again, markets not taking comfort from it because of the ongoing concerns that are just sort of residually out there. So what we're going to be looking at today is an order flow driven market. You can see volatility is pushing lower and equity markets are finding rough dip buying. You can see that large kind of gap that we had is being filled on early European price action. It remains to be seen where we go. We're in quite a significant place in terms of technicals, but a deep drop down into that area is supportive. We've got that gap. So we'll be looking at this kind of area for this kind of gap to be filled again. Definitely something to keep an eye on as we go through the session. Looking at the bond market again, that's good. That's showing reassurance that investors seem to be expressing confidence in the bond market, and that's a good sign. The more we see this dropping lower, the better in the current market condition, because it means that investors are happy to buy bonds. So that's a good sign, something that we're going to be keeping an eye on carefully over the next few days. Gold, just finding bids on that general sort of concern that's sort of residually out there. There is just general worry, and gold is the expression of that worry, and that's really just sort of moving markets. In terms of heavy gold buying, it's just pushing markets into that risk aversion mode. Silver had a very nice breakout yesterday. If you look here, you can see very nice, that trend line break. So I just added to my silver position with that gold silver ratio now well above 100, 99 hitting 106. That's excellent place to buy silver down at this recent dip, and you can see breaking out of that trend line. I just added to my silver position as we broke up and through that area. So very nice. The Currency space showed a little bit of relief with the New Zealand dollar and the Aussie dollar higher, just the fact that things weren't as dire as markets were originally fearing from yesterday. Dollar's a little bit lower. You can see the majors here. The dollar's just pulling back a little bit from a bit of a resistance yesterday. In the current market context, the dollar being bought is good. Anything that's being bought in America is positive right now in the current environment. Because it's showing sentiment that's positive, it's showing growing optimism around the outlook for the US and increasing confidence that some kind of China deal is going to be done. So that's the general sort of mood out there. Good morning, Mark. In terms of the currency space, there isn't really much to say with tariffs really dominating markets at the moment. Looking at the order flow here, we're going to keep a careful eye on it. We are on the daily chart. You can see we're just filling that gap area and we're just rejecting that daily VWAP on the daily chart. That is sort of, the focus of markets at the moment. What we're looking for here on the weekly value area, you can see we touched this weekly value area low and we're now currently up in this weekly value area high that's developing. Okay, and that is quite a key area. See, we're just in that area here. Buyers have been coming in, but look, the inventory is quite negative. It's very mixed in terms of the outlook, the data, very uncertain. Selling from this area here makes a lot of sense. We've got a decent area to buy from here at the 5381. If we can sort of get down through that 5381, that would be an excellent area to look at a potential, reversal. If we move down to that area, if we can push up above this kind of 5403 area, that would be excellent. And that would really be sort of, a positive development if we can get above this developing value area and start moving higher. But we'll have to see, okay, where we develop in terms of price action as we go through the session. Okay, quite sensitive to these highs. So that's going to be important as we go through. You can see here that momentum in the very near term, right, has just pushed higher. Right. You can see buyers trapping these sellers, and this is like a bit of a buy zone that we're in. It's a sell zone on the weekly value area because we've got this value area high. I'm looking for a little reversal here, but this is not on my live accounts. This is just trying to, get into a bit of a position for a short on my the accounts I'm trying to pass. Right, there was a nice little discount, so just trying to see if I can ride something through there. You can see on the 15-minute buyers have been building up into the open, so we'll be looking at that area very carefully. Yeah, 5400 does appear to be a nice strong floor. Right, absolutely. And you've got these
for those who track
sellers
Asia,
here.
Does cut Asia's economic growth to around 3.9% in 2025, 4% in 2026.
All those sellers here as well. So very, very nice sort of area. You can see sellers have come in. They've tried to trap those buyers there for now and see if there's a potential reversal area here. But we're going to be keeping an eye on this as we go through the open.
Just some remarks from BCB Director Vivian. It says it is necessary that they review if the minimum capital required for financial institutions is adequate for new entrants.
There's quite a lot of risk with the China and US going on at the moment, and we just watch out for strong headlines moving markets today. It's definitely going to be one of those kind of sessions. A lot of uncertainty just bubbling around out there today. Trap sellers there, finding a little bit of support for now, but we've got trap buyers there. So we're stuck between these two areas at the moment. So we'll need to see something clear at the open. We'll be looking at that. 5400, yeah, that is a nice kind of floor for now. Just trying to think if there's anything else to really focus on. I'm just gonna have a look through my list. Yeah, calendar. So in terms of the calendar, it's actually quite light. We've got some ECB speakers coming up, and we've got Kashkari speaking later. Trump will also be delivering some of his kind of executive orders. They're due at they're not due till much later in the session. So I'm going to keep our eye on that. So 13 minutes to the open, not a lot going on. headline driven stuff. That's going to be the main driver today. Buyers just try and take it up into this area for now, see if they can manage it. It's not a bad area for reversal, this potential developing weekly value area. If you get, yeah, I think that's right, Najim. If you get some of those 15 sellers trapped up there, I might look at that on the live account, something like that. That wouldn't be unreasonable. This is a bit more speculative that I'm getting involved with now, just trying to pass these accounts. Right, but we'll see how we develop. Sellers trying to come in, but haven't really been able to do anything here at the moment.
Coming up in about 6 minutes' time, we are on the lookout for remarks from BOE's Lombardella is set to speak on monetary policy strategy.
Important area here. If sellers can sort of trap these buyers, and that does give a little bit of control back to the sellers in the very near term. 5-minute close coming up. A little bit of a rejection of that earlier move, but sellers haven't been able to take it much lower. We'll have a look on the 15, see if we can get anything. Yeah, I think that's right, Najam. We do get a push down underneath on this on the 15. Up at the sort of highs of the day, it's not a bad sort of area for a potential reversal. So that's what we're looking at. Looking at the inventory from the overnight session, it's still negative. Okay, so we're still looking at potential reversal here, but strong buying around that 5,380 region does look good for a potential move. So we've got 9 minutes to the open. That standard, first standard deviation holding quite nicely for now. We're really trying to hold that standard deviation. Pushing above that area, then that could open up longs, you see. So very crucial run up now. Buyers coming in, trapping these sellers down here, but not able to take out those highs. Got a big area up here. And this is looking like it's going to have a run on it. Another attempt at this breaking out. Right, we have got those sellers trapped there now. Switch to longs on that to see if I can just take it higher, because that would just be indicating that these sellers are just capitulating. Buyers can take this up, maybe run it up to that level. We'll see. Buyers coming in now. So you've got the 5-minute buyers now trapping those sellers.
For those who track Poland, Polish Central Bank Winnick says the data justifies seriously considering a rate cut of 25 or 50 basis points in May. So
a push up. This is looking like it wants to be a false break of this area. Heading into the open, let's have a look. Sorry about that, Mark. It's a bit. The difficulty is that into this value area high you see that's developing. It's an area you might easily see a bit of reversal. That's the problem with it. So today, April 24th, I'll fill the journal in later, had another green day, plus 477 across the trading accounts. Now, the best trading setup was from the start of the session. So I just want to run through that with us. A number of us got in on that, and we'll just cover that for the representative move. I only took one trade today, and it was this opening trade on the opening 15 minutes. So we had those buyers, you see, trapping those sellers. And with buyers trapping those sellers, we were looking for any pullback around that 5,400 for potential for going long. At the time, we had the point of control down there as well at the time. The point of control sat around this area at the time. And we had at the open, the first time when we had those buyers trap those sellers just above the 5,400. So that was the trigger to go long. Delta moving positive. We had buyers trapping those sellers, and that was a trade that quite a few of us got in on. And we took that up towards the highs of the session, up through the highs of the sessions, and a number of us sort of took it off, but it just ran and ran and ran throughout the whole day. Now, if you take a look at the entry, you can see the entries here, just entering with the buyers, trapping those sellers, entered on the next candle at the 237, got the pullback, entered in on a pullback, and then took the first position off, left the first one at break even, and just ran it up to the highs. And that's just the only trade of the day, and across all the live accounts, that's 477. Okay, folks, that's all for now. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye for now, folks.